frontier.
Ralston. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational!
Lambert! Oh, what a way to settle it!
Nakamura! It's Tom Rogic! Xavi Zera. This is Tony Watt. He's done it! This is the stuff of legend!
This is Celtic Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Get them now at notitfaultclaims.com.
Hello and welcome to Celtic Daft from Football Daft. Thank you very much for checking out the podcast. As always, I am producer Ryan and I'm joined by the main man. He was brought to tears this week with the Fitba for the first time this season. It's Chris Tull. Chris, how you feeling, mate?
Fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing, mate. Honestly, what a feeling it was, wasn't it? I know it's only the League Cup. I don't know why, but I would say it's probably been my favourite ever cup that I've seen us winning.
It's got to be. I mean, listen, we'll get into that game more in detail. We've actually got two games to talk about this week. It'd be odd not to talk about Ross County last Wednesday. You know, we were going up there with quite a depleted squad, mate. No Jota, no Kyogo, a few other guys get injured. What was your thoughts heading up to Dingwall? It was always a tricky place to go, especially midweek. You know, it's always one of these kind of banana skin games for us going up there. You never quite know what's going to happen when you're heading up to Dingwall, especially during the week.
Aye, well, it's that Dingwall and the Tony Macaroni are my two least favourite places to watch Celtic playing football.
Aye.
Honestly, I know we've beat Ross County a few downs over the years up there, but for some reason we never do it comfortably. Never.
No.
And sure, they beat us last season up there as well, you know. So it is a really tough place to go, regardless of how well they play or they've been playing in the lead up. You know what I mean?
Aye. It's one of them games, like you say, actually, comparing it to the Tony Macaroni as well, is quite... Aye, I get what you mean by that. You know, every time I see us playing at these stadiums, it's never... You can never relax. You know, we never just get a 3-0 victory, you know, down the road. It's always scrappy. It's always tense. You're fighting for everything to the last minute. And fair play to Ross County, you know, like, Ross County are battling for everything just now down the bottom of the table. You know, they're Malky Mackay's got them playing relatively well, although the results aren't coming for them. They're playing decent over the last few weeks. But we go with a makeshift striker in this one, mate. Leila Bada starts up front for us in that kind of Kyogo position. When I seen the team come out, mate, I shit myself when I seen this, because I was like, we've spoke about Abada on this podcast so many times.
I thought he was excellent against Ross County. I
thought he was brilliant, mate, and he gets a goal 21 minutes in. Good ball for Scales as well on the left. Good ball in for him. Cracking finish.
The whole build up to the goal was incredible. It was a great goal. He's put it in for a couple of yards out, but the actual build up itself was incredible, man. Mm-hmm. I thought Celtic pretty much controlled the full first half against Ross County, and that seems to be something that's happening to us a lot. We control the first half, and then the second half, I don't think it's us taking our foot off the gas. I think it's fitness levels, to be honest with you, or it's maybe concentration levels or something, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the second half seems to be a tough slog every single week.
We seem to be struggling at the minute to score goals. I know we've said before that somebody's going to get a doing off us at this point, or in this season, sorry. You know, it's going to be an absolute doing for somebody. But until that point, we're really struggling to kind of get that finishing product. You know, we're struggling to kill teams off, and we've got all the chances. I mean, just look at the stats in this game just now, mate. Overall, we had 25 shots, 8 on target in this game. You know, it was pretty much dominant, 75% possession. You know, we're dominating games. We just seem to be lacking something in that final third when we don't have Kyogo.
There's one for you. Imagine 4 seasons ago is Lee Griffiths in that team.
Oh, scoring goals for fun.
Aye.
It's the same. It's the same with Kyogo, mate. You know, like as much as I'm saying we're struggling with goals.
You're saying that, like, we're not even halfway through the season. He's getting nearly 20 goals already.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So we are getting goals. Well, I think Rangers have got more goals than us in the league now, if I'm not mistaken. But they've also played a game more as well. So
I can double check that. I mean, we've got. This doesn't tell me. I'll check it properly, but we've got 28 goal difference. They've got 27. So I don't know.
They've definitely get more goals than us then, because
Aye.
we've conceded 3 less.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's they seem to be coming onto a game. However, this Celtic team have got something about them, man. And I know we're not converting all the goals, but all the chances, but we're still getting the chances. And you know, what averages 1 or 2 are going to go in. So
aye, and that's the thing. Like I was saying there about the lack of goals, and I mentioned Kyogo. Obviously, it's having that striker. It's having that clinical striker up front that makes the difference for us. And we've only got one. You know, we've only got him just now. We don't have anybody else when he's injured or he needs a break or whatever, even to replace him in a game. So that's when we kind of lose that a little bit. But like I said, mate, I've had a really good finish in this one. We came back to bite ourselves in the arse once again for a set play. Ross County equalised 57 minutes. Ball comes across, Jack Baldwin bundles it over the line. I've said to you before, mate, on a show that I don't understand how we can have had so many different combinations of players, so many different managers over the years, over my years of watching Celtic. You've watched them for longer than me. We can never defend set pieces. How can we not defend a corner? How can that not be something that we just learn to do at some point?
it doesn't help matters when one of your centre halves can't really jump, and the other one, when he does jump, he loses height somehow, amazingly. You know what I mean? For me, I would much rather have Stephen Welsh in there. I think he's far more secure a player. Don't get me wrong, over the last few weeks, and I've said that before Starfelt had come onto a game, that he's a nervous wreck when it's a big game. You know, and I don't know if I would trust him in the 3rd of January. So it's like you're saying there, I think when somebody's like that, it kind of breeds a nervousness throughout that area of the park. You know what I mean? And it's worrying because, like you said, you don't feel confident no matter who it is we're playing. If a team get a corner or a free kick in the last third of the pitch, if you genuinely think, right, well, they're going to score here. You know what I mean? You've kind of resigned yourself to the fact.
Aye. Well, I mean, you mentioned Starfelt there, mate. I thought he in this one he was having a no bad game. I agree. Over the last few weeks, he's been coming onto a game for us, and I thought they were building quite a decent partnership. But the last few games, he's been a bit shaky at times. Not as much as people are giving him the amount of stick for. You know, people are saying, "Oh, he's shite, get rid of him, whatever, blah blah." Like, he's not been that bad, but he's got a mistake in him, as we've always said. But them mistakes are now kind of starting to cost us a little bit. We'll get on to the one that he almost cost us in the cup final as well. So he's getting a bit ropey. So I don't know if it's worth taking him out for a couple of games, let him reset himself a bit, put Stephen Welsh in, who's chomping at a bit to play, and see what him and Carter Vickers can do. Also, side note for Carter Vickers, I think he's solid, mate. I think he's absolutely solid. I think he's a great player. I've been really impressed with him every time I've seen him, and I know we mentioned last time if we would spend the money to bring him in, going by previous performances, mate, I probably would.
10 million, behave yourself.
No, I wouldn't pay 10 million. I wouldn't pay 10 million. I'd pay. I know they're looking for 6 up front and then bonuses. I would try and get them for 5. I would try and get 5 million. I'd be more than happy paying 5 million plus a couple of bonuses over the years if that's what they need to chuck in. You know, selling on bonuses and whatever.
If America win the World Cup,
yes, then they can go. They can go to somebody else for that point. But back to Starfelt, mate. There was a moment of madness from him, but before that, a moment of madness for the referee. Ball gets lofted up. Starfelt goes for a header, takes a clear elbow to the nose, busts his nose open by all accounts, He's on the floor. Referee waves play on. He eventually the ball goes out of play. He's back up again, but he's holding his nose and he goes down. As soon as the ball's out of play, he goes down and he's giving the ref pelters. What was your thoughts on this one for the referee? For me, I thought it was dangerous for the ref. I think when somebody's taking a clear head knock and is down, the game should be stopped from this point. But to give him a yellow card for having a go at the ref, I think that's really unfair. What do you think?
It's all about whether or not you're talking about the letter of the law. You know what I mean? Because he does give the ref dog's abuse. And if he hadn't received the elbow before it and he just walked up to the referee and started shouting in his face like that, you would expect the referee to book the person. Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but
there needs to be a modicum of common sense applied. Right, the guy's get blood pissing out his face. Mm-hmm. The referee can see it. He should be like that. Right, listen, I've clearly made a mistake here. I'm sorry. I never seen the incident, so I can't send the guy off. But, you know, I'm sorry for not going for it. Right. And, you know, that's lost in the game these days. I was watching something in the English game, and one of the ex-managers says that he was shouting and bawling at the referee, and the referee just walked over and went like, listen, have you never made a mistake? And it completely diffused the situation straight away. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, there needs to be a modicum of common sense applied to it. Right? It was a red card for me. You know, it's a red card. He's clearly his arms flailed. He's injured the guy. It's dangerous play, whatever way you look at it. The guy should have had a red card, but I can understand why the ref booked him, but you know, wee bit of common sense needs to be applied.
You know, I don't know. I didn't expect you to say that there. I actually don't think it was a red card. I don't think the boys meant. I've watched it so many times. I don't think the boys meant to do it. He's running backwards, going for a header. He wins the header, you know, and his arm is actually by his side when he connects. It's just his body's moving. You know, Starfelt's just put himself in that line to catch one. So I don't think the boys actually meant it. So I don't.
You know, I don't know. It's no, you know, and also as well. See if you go back and look at it, Ryan. Mm-hmm. The guy kicks back at the same time. The guy actually go and look at it, right? Watch the guy's left leg. He actually kicks back at the same time. So, in my opinion, he is trying to do him. In my opinion, but you know, I'll probably catch pelters for that. But if you actually watch it, go back and watch it, right? Watch the guy that's jumping backwards, his left leg. He actually tries to kick back at the same time. And it's a completely unnatural movement for how he's like you say, he's like kind of flying backwards. Mm-hmm. If you're flying backwards, why are you kicking back? You know, you're wanting to try and land.
Aye. Fair enough. I'll go back and watch that then and see, but my initial reaction wasn't for a red card or even for a foul. To be fair, I think it's one of these ones you need to just stop the game and see if Starfelt's all right. Do you know, when he's caught one right in the face like that, but. Couple of minutes later, mate, moment of madness from him. Reagan Charles Cook run down the line. He's lost him and he just bundles him over just outside the box. It's clumsy from him. The question that I'm going to ask you though is that a yellow card?
Again, his arms are all over him. If you're going by the letter of the law, then aye. You know what I mean? It does go down very easily. It does go down very easily. However, you know, it's a foul. Like, you can't say that the things against Kyogo are a foul and not say that that's a foul.
Oh no, mate, blatant foul every single day of the week.
But then it's a booking because his arms are all over him now.
Right, okay, fair enough. I thought it was a bit harsh to get the yellow, to be fair. Very clumsy.
Don't get me wrong. The referee, again, should exercise common sense, thinking, right, I've booked him for that.
Aye.
We'll keep the card in the pocket here. You know what I mean? It for me, it stinks of who you shouting at. Off you go.
Aye, that's actually the next point I was going to make about it when I was saying that I don't think it was a yellow. For me, it was that. It was, there you go, there's your moment to get him. I'm going to get him back there for shouting at me for that. which is pathetic. It is pathetic, but so that's us, mate. We're down to 10 men. Ross County, we're looking like we're dropping 2 points here. We're going to added time. We have chance after chance after chance. We've got a penalty claim very quickly for you. Was it a penalty?
Can't remember. Remind me.
Just before the corner we got when McGregor's taking the shot and the boys turned. And
nah,
not for you.
Nah, not really. No, he's like I would have went mental if it had been in the other box and they had got a penalty. So nah.
Fair. I do agree with you. I've seen a lot of pundits actually saying that it was, but I think the boys turning to defend the shot. Do you know he's not going to take one right in the face.
Exactly. You're at his arms, like the way he's moving, they're not in an unnatural position. So
against his body, I know you can see this in the Daleskin, but they're kind of like that against him. He's turned. So I think it's fair game. But ball goes out, mate. Last chance. Turnbull whips the ball in. The ball gets headed back out. 96 minutes. Hit the clock. McGregor out to Tam Rogic. Pings it up. Who's there? The Bricky. Back post, mate.
Beautiful. Ralbo. Back stick. By the way, what season the boys having, you really do have to hold your hat up to him, man. He's fucking been unbelievable. He's not really put a foot wrong. He hasn't. And, don't get me wrong, when I was watching the Ross County game, there was a part where Juranovic got the ball and he is fast as fuck.
Oh,
and
mate,
you don't realise how fast he is, man. He is rapid, right? And I would say Kiri Tuira my shot, man. Ralston at right back and Juranovic at right hand side of the midfield.
Put him in the wing.
Aye, man, definitely. Because if it allows us to then, I know you're going to have a go at me here, right? But if it allows us to get Mikey Johnson off the pitch, then we can switch the right hand side to the left hand side. But
mate, why would you think I'd have a go at you for that, man? The guy's nonsense.
Because you've said to me a few times, he's coming on to a game. But
no. What I've said was I've gave him credit for the games that he has played well in, and when he has had a half decent game. I did say though that he's the type of player that needs a run of games to find out if he is up to scratch or not. He needs that run of games. For me, he's had them and he's done. He's had that run of games. He's offering absolutely nothing to the team just now. He's skillful. He can skin a couple of guys, but he never really does it. He cuts inside too much. He blasts it out of the bar. He'll fire his own feet. I don't know what's going on with him. Because we've seen in previous years with Mikey Johnson, we'll go back to the goal in a second, but we've seen for previous years with Mikey Johnson that he has got it. He's got something there. I'll take you back to the Rennes game when he skint 4 boys and bloated one right past the goalie. That was a brilliant bit of football, brilliant bit of skill, but he's got that in his locker, but he just seems to not be doing it. I don't know if he's no suited to being out in the wing and having to cut inside. Is he maybe better through the middle in that kind of Turnbull position, driving at people and being in that not out wide? I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with him, to be fair, mate. But he's been hopeless recently.
So if that allows us to even move a Bada over onto the left and we get Juranovic and Ralston on the right, I think that would be a much better setup for us now while Jota's out. But it's getting back to what you're saying there, Ralston. It's what he is a sort of. I don't know who it was that had said that. I think it was maybe Ange who said that he's the sort of player that would run through brick walls for you. And you know what? Even his reaction for Kyogo's second goal in the cup final, he's died in the will, isn't he, man? He's one of us, which is.
It's something we always love, though. Like a player who is one of us. You look at. I mean, the most notable one recently is Kieran Tierney. That's why we love Kieran Tierney, because he was just one of us, but he was also brilliant. And see, I'm not saying it Ralston's anywhere near Kieran Tierney level, but he's that same type of person. And if the performances start going well for him, and he keeps this up, and he becomes a cracking player. You know, he gets more solid at the back, he gets more solid going forward. If they continue the way they're going just now, he's going to be people's favourite player because he's got that kind of affiliation with the fans. You know, like I say, he's got a long way to go, I think, to get anywhere near Kieran Tierney's level. So there's no comparison between the two. But in terms of passion for Celtic and love for Celtic and that connection with the crowd, I think there's nobody better in the team, I don't think.
You know, I think so. I would probably say you're doing James Forrest a bit of a disservice, but I can understand your point. James Forrest, he's never really been everybody's favourite player. But do you know what's going to put it over the top for Ralston? The fact that it's pure hard work that's got him to where he is. He's not exceptionally skillful. He's not got blistering pace. He's do you know, he puts me in mind of, mate, and I don't know if you'll remember as clearly as I do. He puts me in mind of Peter Grant, because Peter Grant was never the most technically sound player. He never had a great final ball or anything like that. He just dug in and he done everything to the best of his ability, and he was just a totally fucking what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word for reliable. What's it? Reliable. I can say that. Reliable. But he puts me in mind of Peter Grant, and what you said, Peter Grant was my dad's favourite player because of that. See exactly what you've just said there. Because it's pretty much he's come through against the odds kind of thing. You know, because he's not get the talent of Kieran Tierney, but he's got the heart. You know, so that gets him through. And do you know what? More power to him, man, because he's been brilliant and he deserves his place in the team. Like when he went out injured there for a while, I was like, oh no, I think that might be it. If we put Juranovic in there at right back, Ralston might not be able to get his spot back. But you know what? When he's called upon, he's coming in, he's doing the job, and like I say, he's more power to him, man. I hope long may it continue.
Good stuff. So that's us, mate. We get the win, 2-1 down the road. Scrappy, like we said, you know, we had to fight for it. But every win at this point in the season, before this Old Firm game in the second, is crucial for us. You know, keeping as close to Rangers as we can. That was a game that people are saying that's a title winning goal. You know, like, fair enough, they're a bit early, but it's the type of one that you look back on when you win titles and you go, that was a turning point. That was where we ground it out. That's where we got it. You know, plenty can still happen, obviously, between now and then, now and the end of the season. But it did seem like a big moment. I think it was, somebody messaged me afterwards and saying, we don't win that game if it's not for Ange. And his mindset and what he's instilled in these players and his, what is it you said? Philosophy? His ethos? His ethos, mate. Like, if he's no instilled that in the players, they don't go to the very end. They weren't doing that last season. They weren't going to the bitter end, to the last kick of the ball, you know, absolutely battering Ross County. So all hail to him as well, mate. Like, he's done something really well with this group of players, and he's got them feeling confident, and hopefully that result is just going to spur us on in the league for the rest of the season and keep them that momentum going with a depleted squad as well, you know, without Jota or Kyogo in there. So,
you know, like you're saying there, man, you don't realise quite how much you miss Kyogo until he comes back. You know what I mean?
Moving very swiftly on then, mate, you don't realise how much you miss Kyogo until you're on the Celtic bus on your way to Hampden, 1:45 on Sunday. The team comes out and the bus erupts because there he is, starting up front in the cup final, Kyogo. Mate, what were you thinking when you seen him? Was it you that sent me the photo of him leaving the team hotel? Was it somebody else?
No, it was somebody else.
There was I'll send you the photo just for reference later on, but there was a photo of him basically leaving the team hotel with the squad like an hour before the team had come out, and it was doing the rounds and people are going, oh fuck, is he playing? Is he there for, like, is he there to be part of the squad? Is he there to keep his spirits up or whatever? No, 1:45, there he is on the team sheet. What were you thinking when you seen him, mate, announced?
Honest to God, like, you sent me the team sheet and you said 5-0 underneath it, right? And Keane went like that to me, Dad, have you seen the starting lineup? I says, aye, Ryan's just sent me, and Keane went like that, 5-0. So I've says to myself, well, I better put that bet on. And I'll tell you, that's my donation to Sky Bet made for the month. Aye, but when I seen that Kyogo was playing, mate, I was absolutely buzzing. You know, I had a feeling that Sunday was going to be a big day. I had a feeling, man. And when that got announced, and stupidly I seen that Kyogo was playing, I checked the bench for Jota.
Just to see.
Aye, just in case. But I was buzzing. I was really excited, man. And you know, it was like an old cup final for back in the day. It was brilliant. It wasn't the most amazing game of football, but you were just wrapped up in it, man. The second half was unreal, man.
Aye, I think as much as you're saying it wasn't the best game of football, see if I was a neutral, I would have really enjoyed that game, I think, because I watched it back. I think I actually would have really enjoyed watching that game because it wasn't quite end to end in the first half. It was mostly Celtic. You know, I know I always do this kind of look at the stats and stuff like that. You know, with 17 shots on goal the whole game. 17 shots, 4 on target the whole game. You know, it was a fairly dominant performance from us. Again, the first half was quite could have went either way. The first half, I think, going in 0-0 at half time was pretty fair, mate. But second half, you know, we're 5 minutes in.
I need to touch on something in the first half, right? Now,
Go for it.
Everybody was saying how that when Greg Taylor went down in the box, it wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. He's hardly touched him with his hands. Go back and watch it again. He stands on his ankle, right? And none of the pundits and none of the commentators or anything like that actually mentioned that. Now, he stands on his ankle. It's a penalty all day long. It's a penalty. Don't get me wrong. The one on Porteous in the second half is a stonewall penalty for Hibs as well, right? But if we get that penalty and we win at half time 1-0, it's a completely different game. Do you know what I mean? So anybody that's moaning about the Porteous one needs to go back and have a look at the Greg Taylor one and watch the defender's feet because he stands on his ankle. And that's why Taylor goes down holding his ankle and nobody's bothered their arse mentioning it.
Aye. I think I hadn't seen it, obviously, because I was the opposite end of the ground, so I couldn't actually see properly. But you text me saying that's a penalty. So I had to obviously wait until I get back. And I agree with you, mate. It's Stormwaller. You know, they did touch on it very, very briefly on the highlights that I watched. I don't know if it was a different kind of highlights, but they did say they're like, potential penalty there. But what a header that was for Starfelt. That could have been anywhere. It was very quickly brushed over. I'm like, no, go back.
No, don't get me wrong. They mentioned that there could have been a penalty, but they never mentioned the fact that he stands on his ankle. They think that he's went down because the guy's put his hands on his back.
Which, by the way, it's still a penalty.
Well, mate, it's no. If you'd have got a penalty against you for that, you'd want to do karate on the referee. You know what I mean? But but when you look at the act now, don't get me wrong, it happens in a flash as well, so I can understand why the referee's not seen it. But the fact that none of the fucking pundits or anything like that have mentioned it, you know what I mean? They've money for all drop. So that's podcast game, mate.
Right, so we got in half time, not an each, mate. Quite an even game up until that point. We come out second half, 5 minutes in. It happens again. A corner, the ball comes in, back post, Paul Hanlon bundles it over again. It's just poor defending. What is going on?
Mate, Starfelt was a mile off it on Sunday. Right, for the whole game, by the way. Anytime he had the ball, it looked as if his legs were about to collapse. He was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Now, Michael Stewart called it out throughout the whole game. He's like, look at it, it's amateur defending. See at this corner, go back and watch it again. If in fact you'll have seen what I'm going to say anyway. Hanlon gets about a 5-yard start on him, right, and that's Starfelt's man. Now, see when Hanlon headers the ball, Starfelt's a good 3 or 4 yards behind him. Now, I don't know who has taught this guy to defend, but see whoever it is at Celtic that's that's doing the coaching for the defensive side of the game. Ange needs to get rid of them, and he needs to bring his own guy in because that it's been going on for far too long, right? What you said.
It's so strange, you know. Like I've also mentioned before that how we always seem to lose goals for corners or free kicks and whatever. But see when it's starting to cost you, like properly cost you goals in big games just now, and it's amateur stuff. You know, it's not even like, oh, the guys beat him to the head and fine, whatever. That happens in football. But see when you've got that total lack of defensive fucking guile about you to watch where he's going, just watch him, man. That's all you need to do. Like I could see it. I could see him running. And I literally was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, this is going to be it. This is a goal. And sure enough, there it was. It went in. I'm with you, mate. I thought Starfelt had a very, very poor game at the weekend. Overall game, you know, there was a few times with the ball, his feet, he was shaky. We'll discuss the moment later on when we discuss Joe Hart's performance, of how he kind of saved.
From when Starfelt tried to make a run into the Hibs half and he get dispossessed and your man Nisbet went through. Aye, that's right. That was fuck me. Honestly, Ryan, what is he trying to do there? What is he trying to do?
It's just when the ball comes over and you're just like, he's trying to kind of boot it back and he just completely misses the ball and like he does that kind of swing round where he has to track himself back. He then gets back. Well, we'll discuss it now. He gets back. Nisbet's ran down. I'm thinking, okay, he's back in position. No ball. He turns him again.
Inside out.
He's like he wasn't there, you know. And all credit to Joe Hart. What an outstanding save. You know, he sees that danger. He's straight off his line, making himself big. There's no space for Nisbet to get past him. It makes a cracking save it for a throw in. But Starfelt, mate, that could have. At that point, it was 2-1. You know, that could have crippled us. You know, that's the type of one that.
Ryan, that's the type of mistake that then defines your season.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Say like they score there and Hibs go on and lift the cup. The heads are down. The axes are out for him. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know what Ange sees in him that he doesn't see in Stephen Welsh. I really don't. I think. Yeah. Welsh is a much more solid defender. And like I say, I know Starfelt's had a few good games recently. I just feel more confident with Welsh at the back than I do with him. And also, see, if Welsh is playing and he's in the position for the headers, that's 2 goals as well.
Aye,
like the headers that Starfelt missed. What is he trying to do?
He's always just trying to glance him, isn't he?
He's trying to put the fucking shoulder, the neck muscles right into it. He's getting it Lanny Ray ones, you know what I mean? Like you used to do when you were playing crossy down the park with your mate.
For me, both of them, obviously first and second half of Starfelt, I felt like he's made that run to the front post and then not really knowing where the goal was behind him and just hoped he can flick something.
You know what, Ryan, I know what you're saying, but see, the first thing you're taught as a defender and a striker is the goals don't move. The goals are always where they are, right? So no matter where you're in the park, you should know where the goals are because they don't move, right? So I don't know. I actually says to my mates, I was like, it's as if he's an undercover agent today. He's deliberately missing headers. He's fucking letting folk go through. It was like, it was the most defensively SIBO performance I've ever seen.
Defensively SIBO, that's class. Actually, I'm going to use that one for now. Right, so. That's the bad bit over of the day, mate. Let's not be too down on this game because it was a fantastic game. We lose the goal. Hibs go 1-0 up. We're a bit deflated at that point. You know, it's been kind of going our way. That happens, and we're like, this is going to be one of these fucking days.
I will deflate it for 14 seconds, mate.
Mate, I didn't even have time to go, for fuck it. Go. Then it was. Ball comes back, played over the top. Kyogo, mate, once again, we've sang his praises all the time. He plays on that shoulder. He must be an absolute nightmare to defend against because nobody knows where the fuck he is at any point. What a touch he's taken. One touch, out his feet, buried it. What a goal.
Aye, that's I'm going to use a phrase here, and I might get pelters for it, but I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but that was a world-class goal. See
100%.
the control and the finish. Goalie's a wee bit suspect, I feel, but still, he's maybe, like I say, it's a great goal, so the goalie's maybe not expecting it at all. He's probably not expecting him to fucking control that for a start.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So he's probably been thrown off by it, but mate, unbelievable.
Well, I think the goalie's thought he's going to be going across goal because that's actually where more space is. So he's went and he's went near post. He's put it in the smaller space, which is probably why the goalie's thought, oh fuck. You can see him turn around going, he's bloody done me there. He's done me. He's put it in that bloody corner. And off he goes, man. It was, you could barely see it on the telly because of the smoke that was coming, which was fun. But I honestly, like, I was in line with that goal. That's where I was sitting. I was in the Rogic corner, mate, and I could just see the ball coming over. And I thought, fuck, he's got that. And then Reyes controls it, buries it. And I'm like, I waited for a second, looked at John Beaton to go, he's going to chop this off. And he didn't. And I was like going bananas, mate. It was a great finish. Unbelievable.
Mate, have you seen the video for the Hibs end?
Aye. Brilliant. But
They're all dancing and singing and all that, and then just stop stone dead.
have you seen the one with the countdown timer on it?
No.
They put the wee countdown kind of down. It's like fucking, that is exactly the time it took for it to happen. Aye, I've got it somewhere, I'll ping you. So 1 each, mate. We're back in the game again. We went out for very long, and then get a free kick on the right hand side. Abada goes down, bit of a clumsy challenge for, I think it was Paul Hanlon in the back. They're running back, mate, and two unbelievable players, Kyogo and Tam Rogic. Now, mate, I've sang Tam Rogic's praises on this show so many times, and I always will. I think when he's playing well, he's one of the best players in Scotland. I think he pings this ball over the top. Actually, do you know what? I'm not going to do it. Chris, talk us through this finish for you. How were you feeling when you've seen this goal for Kyogo?
I was, see the way the house is set up now, because we're just like trying to get moved in and stuff. Mm-hmm. I was sitting on the edge of my bed watching it, and I nearly fucking went through the telly when he scored it. And for the first time in my life, I think ever, I shouted, "Oh yeah, beauty!" when he scored it, rather than just shouting, "Yeah!" But Keane was in the toilet and missed it.
Oh.
So I'm shouting on him, "Keane, hurry up, you need to see this goal, you need to see this goal." And he came in and he's like, "All right." And turned and walked away. I could have strangled him, man, honestly, but it was...
What?
Mate, Wayne's don't give a fuck about Scottish football anymore, man.
It's all Man U, Man City, Liverpool, all that.
That's it, man. It's a shame. But, you know, it was a great goal, and the pass for Rogic is just, again, world class. Mm-hmm. 2 world class goals, I think, in the Scottish Premier Sports Cup final.
Do you know, it's one of them goals. See, when you watch it back, man, you see Kyogo. He's got something different about him, doesn't he? He's just got a little bit of skill, different to anybody else, mate. You know, like, to see that ball coming over, he takes one look at the goalie, sees he's coming out, and he's like, "I know where this is going." Both, one touch over him.
Is he the best since Ralston?
I was discussing this at the weekend. I think he's got every skill set to be as good as. See if he stays for a long time, which doesn't happen in football anymore. You know, nobody stays at a club for years now.
Like my mate says, it seems as if we're going to sign half of Japan in the transfer window. So he might feel more at home when he's got more Japanese people running about him. He
might, but if he keeps going the way he's going, mate, somebody will buy him for 20 million.
Well. Have you seen his Instagram and stuff like that?
Aye.
He loves living in Glasgow. So he does.
I think, he might love that. He might love to stay in Glasgow and play with Celtic for the rest of his career. But, you know, I think football money talks, done it. You know, if somebody comes in next season for Kyogo after they scored 75 goals a season and they pay 30 million for him, then we're pretty much fucked. Do you know what I mean? He's going to go. But I think it's tough to say that best since Larson, because we thought it with Dembele, we thought it with Edward, now we're thinking about Kyogo. However, I think Kyogo might have the best case for it. In all honesty, I think he's got the ability and that skill set.
I've got a soft spot for Dembele, mate.
Oh, so have I. But I think Dembele and Larson were very different, whereas I think Kyogo and Larson could be very, very similar in terms of what to do. Dembele was great overall. He's link-up play, his hold-up play, scoring goals as well. But I think Kyogo, as an out-and-out fucking finisher from every angle, every touch he takes, man, and gain defenders nightmares every single weekend. I think he could be, mate. I think he could be up there with one of the best that we've ever had. In all honesty.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, eh?
You started it, mate. You got me going.
I asked you a question, Ryan. I asked you a question.
I knew what you meant, mate. I knew what you meant, mate. I can read you like a book.
Scud book.
Mate, that weekend was a big scud book, mate. So that's us, mate. We win the cup. We go on, we lift it. Ange, one trophy, one attempt. Does it, doesn't take him 9 attempts for a trophy. He does it, mate. How were you feeling when you seen Ange just holding that trophy, mate? What was your emotions like?
Honest to God, man, see when the final whistle went, mate, I was a disgrace. I actually had to leave the room to keep up my manly facade. You know what I mean? I had to leave the room. I think it was an emotional one, mate, because I think it's the first one since my dad's passed away. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And same for yourself, So
Aye.
it's difficult, but mate, it was amazing. Honestly, it was absolutely amazing. It really was.
It's a rebuild season, which is what everybody's calling it. We've called it that, a rebuild season. We came into this season expecting nothing. I quickly changed that when I seen how we were playing. You stuck to it, mate. You stuck to I'm expecting nothing this season and we'll see what happens. I'm expecting nothing. I'm not getting myself excited. But it's now December. Ange's get his first trophy. Celtic will get their first trophy in 2 seasons now. Is that the thing that's going to kick us on, mate? Do you hope and just spur on this team?
I hope so. I do hope so. I think I'm still trying not to get too ahead of myself because what was I watching? The new Spider-Man movie. I expect disappointment and then I'll never be disappointed. So if I can keep my head level with that, and I can only have pleasant surprises along the way, shall we say?
Aye, okay, mate. Fair enough. Don't believe you. I think inside you're doing cartwheels, mate. But whatever.
Like I said before, I've got the feeling that it's going to be a special season for us.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I have the feeling now. That might be 2 cups. Do you know what I mean? That Rangers might still win the league, but in my opinion, if we end this season, even if we end this season with 1 trophy, it's something that it's an improvement on last year.
Aye,
and
true.
As I said as well, as long as Ange is still the manager at the start of next season, then I think we can consider this season a success. Because the fans have bought into him, the fans love him, man. They do. And like you say, seeing him holding the cup, it's like,
it's a moment, isn't it?
Aye, it really is. It's a statement. It's a statement, and people can say, aye, it's the League Cup, it's the Daddy Cup, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. At the end of the day, every team in the Scottish League was involved in that cup, and we won it.
Yep.
So it's a victory. It's a moral victory, and it's an actual fucking victory.
Aye, mate. The only people who think that cup is a Daddy Cup are the people who don't win it. And that's the thing. Anybody who follows our team knows fine well. And that actually sounded like a wee dig at Rangers there. It actually wasn't, because I think Rangers fans are probably the same as us. You know, every cup's a cup. You know, like, and they would have
Especially now,
loved.
what you need to remember is they've not won a trophy for going on 12 years.
Aye, exactly. You know,
You know
like,
what I mean? So it's, 11 years, sorry. Yeah, that's a long time for Rangers fans to go without, a cup final success. And regardless, like we said before, people might talk it as a lesser competition, but see, when you win it, you still go out and celebrate with your mates and that, and go and have a pint, and you have a great day, and you love watching the game, and it's still, even though it's not the Scottish Cup or not the league trophy, it's still, you're still watching your team lifting a trophy, and that's important.
aye.
You know, I mean, without league cups, Rangers and Celtic wouldn't be able to say that they've got over 100 trophies. You know, so it's an important part of a season, and let's put it this way as well, Ryan, you can't win a treble without it. So,
Well, that was going to be my point. You know, everybody strives for that treble, but if you class one and as a Diddy Cup, then is a treble that important? Do you know?
exactly.
Of course, it's important. Every trophy is important. So, aye, it's not a Diddy Cup. We've won it again. Ange gets first trophy, mate. I said there about it being a moment for Ange. I think it is a massive moment, because he came in. I seen a video the other day. It was Alan Brazil on TalkSport, and it was, I don't know if you've seen it. It was the day that Celtic applied for permission for Ange to coach in Europe, and Alan Brazil basically was going, "Oh, what is this? I'm not. Do I need to read this?" Celtic have applied for some whatever exemption for Ange Postecoglou, but look, how do you even say that name? Like, what is going on? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. And Ali McCoy's just pissing himself laughing. He's like, "Oh, I hate to wallow in your pity, mate, but I'm loving every second of this." Like, I think, see, looking back to that moment there and everything that people were saying about Ange coming in and the slaggings we took for going for an unknown guy for Japan, the fact that he's been in the door 5 months and he's lifting his first trophy in a cup final at Hampden, I'm just like, do you know, fair fucks to you, Ange. Do you know, fair fucks to you, mate. Like,
Yeah.
for what you've done and not just for the club, but for uniting fans as well. You know, we were so distant for this club last season. You know, I was done with them, to the point where you're considering renewing season tickets. You're considering everything you're doing. You know, am I going to put money into this club again? And he comes in and you take the risk, and it pays off when you get moments like that at the weekend. You know, and I'll not be the only person thinking that. There'll be so many folk in the same boat going, thank God. You know, there was 4 of us that used to go to games. 2 of them didn't renew their season tickets, and they won't admit that they're sick now that they gave it up. But they're very much like, oh no, I'm fine. But you're sick, you know, because you gave it up thinking that Ange was going to be a joke, and you didn't give him the support, and look what's happened, mate. You know, he's united the fans again.
Aye, you're right. You're right what you're saying there, mate. But remember, John Barnes and Kenny Dalglish won the League Cup.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Chris, come on.
Nah,
I've just gave a big emotional speech here about uniting fans, and you brought them two to the table.
That's exactly why I done it, just to wind you up. No, I fully agree in everything you say. Everybody that supports Celtic is pulling in the same direction. Nobody wants rid of Ange. Everybody's happy with how things are going. We're 7 points behind Rangers with a game in hand, right? Nobody sees that as an insurmountable gap.
No.
So, you know, I think January is going to be huge. I really do think it's going to be huge. Not just the Celtic Rangers game. I'm talking about the transfer window. Rangers have lost that case to Sports Direct yesterday that could end up costing them millions and millions. You know, that could affect whether they need to sell players. You know, I think January's going to be huge for Scottish football. Well, huge for Celtic and Rangers. I think the rest of Scottish football don't really give a fuck. But it's definitely going to be a big transfer window.
Mate, we move on then. You know, the season keeps rolling on. We move on to Wednesday night. We're away to St Mirren, 8:15 kick-off. Just very briefly, what you thinking ahead of this one? You know, St Mirren, it's a game we should be winning. You know, they're sitting 9th in the table just now. should we pretty much be dealing with them? No bother, do you think?
We away.
We're away.
Again, it really all depends. It depends. See, if Celtic can get the first goal, then it could end up a cricket score. But like I said, I think somebody at some point soon is going to get a tanking off Celtic. So just hope we can hold it off until the 2nd of January. But it's, I think we should. Like you say, it's on paper. It's a match we should win. St Mirren haven't been any great shakes recently, but does that ever affect teams when it comes to playing Celtic and Rangers as well? Do you know what I mean? They could be having the worst form ever, and then they seem to magically turn up on that date.
Aye.
So, we'll wait and see. But if we can get a quick goal, then it could open the floodgates.
Aye, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. So there's no real news, I don't think, this week. Then, is it to talk about other than that? We cleared up some of the transfer rumours last time we done the show.
Mate, I'll tell you this now.
But
I went and had a look at Maeda, right? Like on his YouTube videos and stuff like that.
I was going to say, you get a flight,
Mate, have you seen this guy?
Mate, I'm buzzing. I cannot wait.
He is unbelievably quick.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievably quick. Looking at it on the YouTube videos, he actually looks like he might be faster than Didier Agat was. And that, in the style of football that we play, could be terrifying for opponents. Aye. Terrifying. So fingers crossed we get the deal done for him, because I think he would be a revelation in Scottish football.
He looks like a terrifying wee bastard, doesn't he?
He doesn't look like he can't fight, Ryan, put it that way.
Aye, exactly, mate, exactly.
So basically, if we get that deal done, I think that's going to be a huge string to our bow. Also, I think we need to look at centre mids as well, because, like, see, with the greatest respect to Near Beaton, who has been really quite solid when he's came in, I don't think he's the answer in there. Like, when you lose a Turnbull who's got the ability for that final ball, that's not something that Beaton brings to the game, so
I don't know, mate. I actually disagree with you. I said to the boys in the pub the other day, and I shared a tweet about it as well. I'll send you the tweet if I see it again. Under Ange, the form that Beaton's been in under Ange since he's moved back into the kind of centre of the park, I think he's been incredible, mate. And I thought he was brilliant when he came on the weekend.
That's what I said as well. I think he's been really good, but I think we're pretty bare bones in that department.
Aye.
So it's, we could be. I don't think Beaton. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't think Beaton's the answer. What I'm saying is, I don't think Beaton is who Ange would have in there if he had the option. So
right. Aye, fair.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a position that we need to look into as well. And we're going to need to have a look at some central defenders as well, I think, and potentially a left back. So,
well, apparently one of the Japanese boys is a left back. Is it Hatate or something? I think his name is.
We'll see what January brings. Hopefully, they open the checkbook, because there's a lot of, if purely a business point of view as well, there's a lot of money to be made. So it's time that we done a bit of speculating to try and bring that in.
So that's it for another episode of Celtic Daft. Chris, thank you very much for joining me again to talk about Celtic, League Cup final, champions, and first trophy. What a time, mate. It's going to hopefully kick on the rest of the season. You're back on Friday with the main show. Be Christmas party going on with the boys?
Possibly.
Hopefully they turn up with their panto tits on. Geez a bit of a show.
You've got the week off. Why don't you join us as well?
I fully intend to, mate. I fully intend to be there on the show this week, so we'll see what happens. Then the show will be off for 2 weeks for Christmas, but we might still do Celtic Daft, mate, in between. We'll see how we feel. See how the
Aye.
games go. We've got time.
See if we lose, then we'll know do it. But if we win, then we'll do it, right?
Correct. Yep. And we'll maybe chuck in a wee pre-Old Firm one as well if we get a chance to do it.
A free what?
Sorry, pre-Glasgow Derby, pre-Rangers game one. All right, Crystal. Thank you very much, mate.
You're very welcome, mate. It's been a pleasure, and God bless you.
Hey, well, son.